the scoreboards correspond to the colour of the stickers in the bowls. So the home on the scoreboards match the blue stickers and the away on the scoreboards match the red. There will be 2 trial ends, those bowls will be removed and the play proper will begin. I've been asked to the conditions of play. Leads not to visit the head, seconds don't visit the head, the skip may only visit the head after the delivery of their first ball, and the changeover players after the second. And on rink 1, representing Jersey, Josh Band, Kevin Lalong and Michael Riv. And from the Falkland Islands, Oliver Thompson, Chris Locke and Ian Barnes. In Waters, Barry Bruce and Greg Rendell. And representing the Western Isles, Peter O'Donnell, John Blunt, presenting Guernsey, Stephen Williams, John Rahoy and Christopher Dyer. And representing Shetland, Tam Terrace, Eric Muir.
That's it.
That's it.
1, 2. That's it.
Okay. So I don't need to touch. I just
So
need
just
to
don't
speak.
touch it, yeah. And if you're right, so just cover it in your hand or whatever.
So is it straight in the tops there?
Anywhere, just on the side.
Give me a shout if you know. Coming through.
Okay. That's just picking up general stuff.
Well waited. From the line there, bud. Wait. Well, John. Get back all right there, what's the set?
That's the last ball being rolled in the trial ends, and the match here is starting. The home team is Orkney, Kevin Waters. The Western Isles have the jack, and the play's just ready to start. A little bit heavy there. Everybody sticking to the right hand side, the forehand so far, and he's just a yard short. Each of the players plays with two bowls. And that's John Blunt from the Western Isles, about a yard short with his first bowl. Barry was playing the other hand and also is a little short. He's coming in, he got a little clip, and it's hard to tell at this distance, but he might just have got it. Barry maybe better stand.
Well, do that, as I say, see that picture, that way you'll see right across to the track on both sides. Yeah. Yeah. But no, that's not, you can even chip that to yourself slightly, maybe so you see both sides. But it should work. You see that, Mike?
I think it's
1-2. 1-2.
Yeah.
Greg playing the backhand and a little bit short. The final ball for this end for the Western Isles. As it slows down, it starts to draw in, and that's the shot. Final ball on its way from Orkney. Just holding out a little bit. No change, so it's one shot to the Western Isles. As you can see from the pictures, it's just stunning sunshine here at Kirkwall Bowling Club, and the green is surrounded by lots of spectators, and in the other rinks either side of rink 2 we've got Shetland playing Guernsey, and on the other side it's Jersey playing the Falkland Islands. That's the jack set and ready to start play on end 2. A good opening shot, maybe a couple of feet short. Kevin too playing the same hand and a little through. Peter made a good adjustment there, a little neck on his bowl, and he's only a few inches short off the white. Kevin must be close, a little edge, but he's just slipped through too far, and it's still the Western Isles that's holding short. The skip's asking the second to put one round the back. The ball's on its way. He's certainly given it the grass. He's thrown it out wide enough. It's starting to draw back in, and is about a yard and a half past the white, just where he was asked to place it. if it's almost jack high, but still Western Isles hold shot. He's just being asked to draw in now. If the Orkney players could just touch that white a few inches on the forehand, they could be laying 3 shots. And the ball's on its way. And it's just past the head, but too wide to make any contact with the jack. Terry's first ball from the Western Isles on the forehand, trying to draw in for another shot. And he's just faced that purple ball. So he's not counting, but it does mix the balls up a little bit if that white were to go back. Greg's quite close, just through, I think. So looks like it's 1 against, and the final ball of this end is nearing the head, and it's certainly just that little bit heavy, and it went past the white. 1 shot to the Western Isles, so they are 2 shots to 0 up after 2 ends. First ball on the forehand, a little short, and again the same side of the green for Kevin. And it's a little through. About a yard, the skip's indicating. This one's that bit further, but still maybe 1 foot away from the white. A change of hand now for Orkney. And that looks like another one in for the Western Isles, and a choker. Barry a little short there, and the skip encouraging him to be up. This one's just going out a bit wide and will not draw back into the head. The final ball from the seconds. And a little through. So there are 3 Orkney balls there lying a few feet past the jack. But that must be tempting for the skip to try a little trail. So will he go with just a foot or two on, or will he just try a neat draw? But it's the Western Isles to play first. You must be quite close. Oh, it's very, very close. Yes, and it is a choker as well. So it's 2 shots for the Western Isles. Greg's trying to contact that ball so that the jack will spring back to those Orkney balls that sit behind. The skip's being asked from the Western Isles to play one round the back to mix up those Orkney bowls. And he's gone quite far back, so Greg would only want to move that jack just a little. He's missed contact with anything. That's 1 bowl out. I think that was 2 shots. I'll confirm that once the scoreboard flicks over. For those new to bowls, there were a couple of chokers in that last end. Now, if the bowl leaves the player's hand and before it stops it hits the jack or the white, then that's called a choker and it gets a little spray of chalk on it. And then if at any point whilst playing that end that ball ends up in the ditch, then it would still be able to count. If you're not a choker and your ball ends up in the ditch, it's a dead ball and it would be lifted out of the ditch and placed at the side. It's about a couple of yards through. Kevin was playing a wee bit heavy the last end, and this end maybe a couple of feet past the white. Can be tricky sometimes to readjust if you've been particularly heavy with one bowl. So from about 2 yards through, that one was 1 yard short. The Orkney player about the same weight, but had taken more grass. So we move to the seconds. final seconds ball played. Barry slowing down just a little past the head. This end so far, none of the bowls as close as it's been in the other ends, but here comes Terry's. Can he get it closer to the white? Bit tighter, he's hit the Orkney bowl, and it's lying the shot now. A little short, but that too is counting. So right now it's 2 shots to Orkney. Just slipped past the head, so no change to the score, and Greg will be wanting to draw in here for a 3. The ball's on its way. It's coming near the head, and that little edge just slowed it enough. The crowd are clapping, and it's only a couple of inches from the white. They're kicking out the bowls, 1, 2, 3 out. They're looking for the 4th shot, but it's only 3, so 3 shots to Orkney. So that's 4-3 to the Western Isles after 4 ends. And this game it's 13 ends, so 9 ends to play. As it slows, we watch it bending in. It must be very close, and it touches, so he'll get some chalk. Good shot from Peter. Quite a lot of choosing the forehand, whatever way they're going. Is he facing that ball? Yes, he faced the ball, knocked it through, and lies in its place. A chap and lie. A bit more grass this time, threw the ball out a bit wider, slows down, drawing a little, but still wide of the jack. He's a yard or more short. But the skip's indicating that John should play the backhand. So first ball of the backhand, it looks quite wide. Don't think it will come back from there. Just sort of, it's been hanging there. I think we've noticed a couple of balls when they've been particularly wide on that hand going up, they just kind of hang out a bit. Barry's is nearing the head, close to picking up the white, right on top of it.
his head.
Again, played that hand. We'll see if it comes back. It's still, I think, kind of hanging out. Came back a bit, but not enough. Terry's playing the same hand too. The last Orkney bowl of this end on its way, a bit tighter, which should help, but to get Zolny's weight. Wee touch there, edging him in. The crowd are applauding. Last bowl of this end looks close, and I think he may have the shot, but the Orkney seconds having a close look, and it's one. 1 to Orkney. It was at this end of the green. The skips were asking what way was it, and it took a while to work out what way they were indicating. But 1 to Orkney. So Kevin is the jack. All square, 4-4 after 5 ends. That's the shot in. Kevin's ball from Orkney was a couple of yards through, and the one from the Western Isles maybe a yard through. It's slowing down past the white, but it's the short ball, so it's counting for Orkney. Another choker, but it's gone to the Orkney bowl as it just slips past. So he's being asked to tuck it in, so he's playing on the backhand, hoping to just pick that white up and hide it away so that it's hard to see from the mat. He's just a few inches short and just a wee bit high. So the Western Isles are going to play their hand because they'd like the jack to go the other direction, waiting to edge it nearer that green bowl, and then they could be allowing 2. It's tight by the looks of it. How's the weight? Nearly jack high, so just a few inches short of the head. I suspect this will depend on Barry's weight, but I suspect he's a little tighter. But his last one was too broad, so nicely drawn, and that's another shot in for Orkney. They're lying at least 2. John certainly up and clipped his own bowl at the back. He just missed that Orkney bowl, and if he'd caught the edge of it, it would have turned it in and certainly would have made it 3, but because of the weight, I suspect it is now 3 shots. Greg's bowls coming close to the white and tickled it, but there's a Western Isles bowl there, and he's now just lying the one shot, whereas before it was two. That ball wasn't in making any difference, and the last Orkney bowl coming. He's not short. I think he's trying to clip that black ball out to lie a lot. Still just the one. Final ball of the head, of the end, sorry. And what happens now is it's gone sideways, and that would often be a burnt end, but what they do is they respot it. So they put it on that white mark on the ground, and the shot goes to the Western Isles. So that was one to the Western Isles, and they're one shot up after 6 ends. A bit of discussion about whether this jack is too short, because the players can pull the mat up further than that mark where the jack had been reset to. So it's about a mat length up the green, and it has to be therefore a mat length beyond that red marker pin that shows 25. If people think it's too short, they would just shout umpire, and the umpires would come on with a long tape measure, and they would measure it, and they would decide whether it was a fine shot there from Kevin, a chalker. Crowd all applauding, the home crowd trying to lift the players. Barrier still short. The Western Isles player coming near the head, drawing to the left hand side of the jack, but both balls a good weight. I fancy Orkney still holding short. Orkney's fourth ball nearing the head, no alteration. Brief conversation with players from the Western Isles as they cross over on the green. And I imagine Terry will be trying either to draw in or to just face that pink ball so that he's lying 2 shots. He's drawing in now, a little short, maybe a foot short, which makes it difficult for Orkney to try and draw in that hand, so he's changing to the backhand, which is quite open, and those balls at the front are Arcadian balls anyway. He's drawing in a little through, but it's counting, so another shot lying for Orkney. That's an Arcadian bowl, not really changed the head at all. So he's got a choice of shots. You can either try the same shot as before or come the other hand between those purple bowls, because lying short and to the left of the white would still be counting. So he's played the same side as before. He got caught in that front bowl, so not getting into the head, but it's 2 shots to Orkney. A nip and tuck game, so that should be 6-5 after 7 ends. And in this game they play 13 ends. So 8 ends to go, not quite halfway. As I was mentioning earlier about where you can position the mat, Kevin has pulled the mat up the green a bit, so the jack has gone all the way into the ditch, so that will be returned. The Western Isle player will have the choice both where to place the mat and then throw the jack. If the jack goes in the ditch this time, then it will be respotted on that mark, like the jack had been respotted earlier when there was a burnt end, and then the Arcadian player can decide where to place the mat before the play begins. But it's nowhere near the ditch, so it's on the green, a regulation length, and although the Western Isles player threw the jacket, it's still the Arcadian player to go first. So Kevin's on the mat and the ball has been delivered. It's very close. Jack high, a few inches away from the white. This ball looks short, I think. Yes, it's just pulling up short of the head. A little heavier, but still counting. 2 shots to Orkney at present. The Western Isles ball coming in, it's close to picking up the white, a choker, he stayed with it, a lovely shot, and that's the one to beat. Again, a clean draw, or just chap that one through. It's a little tight. How's his weight? Needs a foot further to reach the jack. He's tight this time, and also probably short. I don't think he would have reached the head even if he hadn't hit that green ball at the front. Barry slightly more grass this time and more weight. He could pick up the jack. He has done, trails it right through. Beautiful shot, certainly one, and maybe a measure for second shot. So the Western Isles playing the opposite hand this time. The ball's in its way. I suspect it's too tight. But it's coming almost up to, still a little short, but not much short, just the grass that was the main issue with that delivery.
Well done, Baz. It's the right kind of way to play at that. Without leaving it sitting there.
I suspect Greg, he can play either hand actually. He's choosing to go on the backhand. He just needs to slip round all those balls. He's certainly up at the head, a wee chap, and he's counting. So that's clearly 2 for Orkney, no more than 2. That's another Orkney ball hit in, so they're now lying 3. He's playing the same hand. I would think he's just looking for a nice draw in. Needs to get past those front balls, and he just gets caught in that one, but it's another Arcadian ball. He may have pushed it in enough so that it's counting also. It's hard to tell. Last ball coming up, just sailed past, and so that's a 4. It did indeed in the end count.
Well then, Orkney. Go on here, Kev. Kev, Greg's shouting.
10-5 to Orkney after 8 ends. The jack's been pulled, the mat's been pulled up again, so they're just lining up the mat, so it's in the centre of the green, and now he's delivering the jack. It's not gone in the ditch this time, so this is probably the first end that the mat's been so far up the green. And so they're kicking the balls back towards the mat just to make it that bit easier when the players come to reach for their balls. He's playing the forehand. Just slipped past, but still in the green, so could certainly count by the end of this end. That one's a wee bit short. Pass is Kevin's second ball. Sometimes it can be tricky because you don't want to lose your ball in the ditch so that it just can't count, and sometimes that means you can drop it just a little bit short. Barry's certainly not done that. A nice draw in and a loud round of applause from the crowd. I think from the indication it looks as though the Western Isles are holding now. I think Barry's maybe, I thought he was a little tight, but I think it made a little grass there. It was just really his weight was the trouble with that one. Slows down, drawing in. I hear calls are well played, Greg, but I suspect it's not counting. A good ball from the Western Isles skip. Last Orkney ball heading towards the head. Just that wee bit heavy, so he's slipped past. Dangerously close to the white. It may have changed things, but they keep the shot. 1 to the Western Isles.
Greg, heat up here. Absolutely. Walking on and playing, you know, but a bit of coaching, Calvin.
So the Western Isles lead, choosing to lengthen the jack a bit. Choosing to play the backhand, slowing down, drawing in, just slipped through maybe a yard or so. Kevin sticking to the forehand. That's the shot to beat now. Encourage the Western Isles to change hands. It's coming close to the head, but just slipping past. Kevin played that well before, so he's sticking to that hand, but of course he was a wee bit heavy and trailed the white. You could take it to those two Western Isles bowls, but that's not a problem. Much the same bowl as the last time. 2 shots, 12 inches or less from the jack. John realising he just needed a bit more grass there, and probably just only maybe a foot of running and he would have reached the head. Orkney sticking to that hand, and Barry's a couple of feet short, just too far away to count. He's certainly taking more grass this time. Slowing down, but his weight just carrying him that wee bit through. Barry 2, wee bit heavy, but facing the black ball, which may be useful past the end proceeds. Skip will be trying to come up that forehand to just trail that white back to those two red stickered bowls so that they could count three. He certainly was up to do that, but his grass and weight just carried him past the head, and in fact he ended up in the ditch. A dead bowl, and that's been removed and laid in the side. Greg played the other hand, perfect weight, and that is the shot, beating the other two, so Orkney are lying at least 3. This one he's taking some weight off and he's quite near the head. Not quite enough. Not quite enough. So they still hold 3. And Greg's had to change his hand, of course, because that red ball was in the way of his previous line. And he's just staying clear of the head so as not to do any damage, and quite content to take 3 bowls, which makes it 13-6 after 10 ends. That means Orkney is now 7 shots up with 3 ends to play. So Shetland would need 2 2s and a 3 to tie the match. And they'd need 1 more than that to creep ahead to win. Six shots available at each end, of course. Kevin about a yard through and a little bit tight. Peter has thrown it wide, hoping it'll draw back all the way. Hanging out there. Not quite drawing back. Kevin too sort of out in the same place as that, almost matches the Western Isles previous bowl, but a wee bit heavier, and he's just fallen into the ditch, and that's a dead ball, and it's lifted off to the side. Instead of persevering with that hand, the Western Isles going for the other hand. Has touched it, so both the jack and the bull have gone in the ditch. So now what will happen is you'll see that sort of white marker indicates the players at the opposite end where the jack is, and the red marker indicates where the bull in the ditch is, and because it's a chalker, that's it just getting the chalk, it's still live, that will be counting, that will be the short bowl at present. Quite difficult to beat, but there's maybe 2 feet to beat it. Barry stays in the green, so still could count, but not close enough. It's a bit tight. I think he might have been trying to just chat that ball into the ditch, but didn't succeed if that was what he was trying to do there. So Barry's been asked to play the same ball, but just a wee bit further, so that it could be the counting ball. It's lying. A tremendously difficult shot to just judge it perfectly so the ball's nearly on the edge of the green, so it's counting. And of course, if it ends up in the ditch, if someone knocks it and it goes in the ditch, it's a dead ball and it won't count. So the second's trying to work out. He's decided he's playing the forehand. He's going to try and touch that purple ball, the Orkney ball, and knock it out, stop in its place, and then they would be lying at least 2. A bit tight though. That's not succeeded, and just had slipped outside the rink. So if it goes beyond those white marker pins at the edges, then it's lifted off. If it goes in the ditch and it's not a choker, it's lifted and put on the side because it's dead. And if it goes too far to one side or the other, likewise it's lifted off as a dead ball. Greg's playing the backhand, trying to follow Barry, and he's just that wee bit heavy. The skip's first ball's on its way. I suspect it may be too high, and it doesn't make any difference. Greg gets a second attempt. It's underway. The weight is not as heavy as before. Question is it quite far enough? Not quite. The last ball's delivered. It's tighter. He needed it tighter from the last time. It's all to do with the weight. Will it come back enough? Oh, just slipped past the edge of the ball. But a good attempt. Now, they've asked for a measure because it's the ball that's nearest, so it can look from above as though it's nearer, but you've also got to remember that there's the distance between the level of the green and the level of the jack in the ditch. And once you take that into account, sometimes although initially it looks as though it's one ball, it might be the other, but the strings won't lie. There are 2 umpires on hand and they're measuring it to see which is the shot, and they'll indicate when they're satisfied. It's the Orkney ball. 1 to Orkney, 14-6 after 11 ends. So that's Orkney now 8 shots ahead, and the very maximum the Western Isles could get is 12 shots if they manage to get 6 each end. So it's not quite decided yet, but Orkney in a commanding position. The Western Isles would need at least 2 in this end so that they were only 6 down going into the final end, and then if they got a 6 then they would tie the match. But Kevin's first ball was well paced and is only about a foot away from the white. His second one just slipping past and through, but useful there to mix up the balls. And Orkney really will be content with that, mixing up the balls so that the Western Isles can't get a large number of shots in these remaining 2 ends. And this competition, all the teams play all the other teams, and so even if they win a match they have to be mindful of the shot differences, because if by the end of all the games teams have the same number of points for winning or drawing matches, it will go down to the shot difference. Who's the best shot difference? Barry drawing in beautifully there. John playing the backhand. But about a yard short. He's drawn near to the head. He just chapped that green ball, but not enough to move it forward, and it fell back into the same place. And it may be that he's lying 2 shots. And it will be a measure for the third shot, whether that pink ball is the counting ball, whether it's nearer than that green ball from the Western Isles. Skips are moving up to the mat. And if Orkney hold shots in this end, then they will have won this match, because the Western Isles can't overtake them. The Western Isles need at least 2 shots in this end, or Orkney win the match. The ball's a yard short, but so Western Isles skip heading, trying to turn that green ball forward, and he's played it. It's now the shot. Greg's trying to pluck that ball out. His ball's on the way. Too wide though. Too wide. And he sails past the head. So Western Isles trying to draw in to keep the match alive. No difference in terms of the count. So that remaining one Western Isles ball. So it's 14-7 after 12 ends, and Orkney will win the match. But they will play this last end, because of course if points are the same once all the games are over, it will come down to shot difference. So a wee bit of banter there. He kind of dropped the ball. The Arcadians jokingly say that counts, and he was so he's getting close to the head. Just a wee. Couple of feet short. Looks like a good shot from the Western Isles player. Oh, just slipped past. Barry just slipped past. No, that was wrong. Wrong name. It was still the lead. It was Kevin there. This is Barry just coming to play his first ball, but right now it's the Western Isles' first ball of the second from John. Now Barry. Drawing as it slows down slightly past the head. But getting a round of applause. Approaching the head, a little edge in that ball to slow him down. So 1-1 to the Western Isles now. Coming up the backhand, but just sailing past. He'd been asked to play with a little weight and face that black ball. Four balls to come. A little short of the head, couple of feet. Certainly gave it grass. Will it come back all that? Just hanging out a little bit. Western Isles' last ball on its way. Similar to before in that wee bit short. Greg, a kind of running ball, trying to pluck that black one away. Certainly hit some things. Looks like one down. So it went to the Western Isles, one to the Western Isles. That makes it 14-8 after 13 ends. A win for Orkney by 6 shots. Thank you for watching.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoyed doing that?
Aye, well, it was different. You used to try and not get too excited when Orkney's doing well, you know.
Right, I know.
Trying to
You
be
have
neutral.
you have to try and be neutral. It doesn't always work that way, Palmer, so that
So what's your next ring?
4.
And that's
So that's 4. And that is against
men's trippers again, so they're straight back on.
straight back
I
on.
guess Shetland.
Oh,
It's a local
that's
derby.
a local derby.
Yes.
That's going to be nearer.
Ring 4.
They're saying 5:30, but I don't know. They might go forward. What time is it now?
Yeah, it's only 25 past 4. And what end of the
Ah,
end?
so 25 past 4.
What end of the last 4 Isles are always slow.
Well, they're in 12 ends, so that's them distinction too. We're a whole hour. They might go. The thing is, good go. Oh, shit.
The white ball into the deck and they all try and get close to the deck. That was a good run. That's scrappy, a bit messy.